Welcome back, everyone, to Grand Tactician, the Civil War, as we continue our playthrough as the United States, as the Union, trying to defeat the Confederacy. We've got them on their heels. For the most part, though, things are still far from certain in the West. I have a feeling, though, if we can manage to defeat these last few armies and push our way down into the deep South, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, that'll probably be enough to defeat the Confederacy, as their national morale is now at 36. In the meantime, we're going to pursue Enrollment Act 2 once we've completed the Revenue Act. We may be able to do both of these at the same time, because Enrollment Act 2, among other things, is going to allow us to double the speed at which replacements enter our army. So we're going to be able to get men into the army faster than the Confederacy can at that rate, and I think that might be enough to finish this. Right now we're 290,000 men in the field, 252,000 for the Confederacy, and those numbers are only going to grow for us. So let's dive in and see what happens today. So we're moving the Mississippi Squadron down just downriver, I guess it is, from Memphis, so that we can protect that area. I'd like to be able to get control of that railroad if I can. We want to make sure that we're able to get food to the Army of the Ohio, because right now they've got some serious supply issues, some food issues, and we're going to start seeing their disabled number go up rapidly. So we've got to get them to a place where they're going to be able to get the supplies they need. All right, Army of the Kanawha under George McClellan. Wow, why is their morale so low? We've got the numbers, but I'm a little concerned about what's going to happen here, and I don't know why that is. Wow, there's a bunch of other units coming that way too. Is it supply? Is it food? Is that the problem? Yeah, we've got a food issue here and supply issue. So the farther we go into the south, we seem to be having greater issues with that. So let's fight this, but I don't know how well McClellan's army is going to hold up under these conditions. So this is showing as a major defeat before we even get into the battle, because our morale is just absolutely atrocious. I'm hoping that maybe we will be able to change that before it all is said and done, but we'll see. It's going to require pretty much a flawless battle on our part, and I'm just going to sit tight on top of this mountain and absolutely hope for the best. But it may be that we fire a couple of volleys and then find ourselves retreating. So we'll see what happens. All right, we're digging in. I'm putting fortifications, well, not really fortifications, breastworks. We're going to curve them around right here, build it in right in this area, and hunker down. It's actually shifted back to indecisive. Our morale is actually going up right now, which is fantastic news. We may just be able to hang on here. If we can get him to attack us on this hill, we might just pull this off. All right, it's almost 11 a.m. and we've just caught our first sight of the enemy, just as I get all of my units into position behind the fortifications. Artillery's opening up. Let's get everybody with long-range orders. We're going to have to play this just perfectly. We've got 3 guns with 12-pound Napoleons firing over on that side. I do have these 24-pounder howitzers out front, though I'm going to have to pull them back at some point. Marson and Patrick, that's their first combat. Looks like the 1st Brigade under Stanley, the Thundering Herd Brigade, the West Virginians, and then Andrew Porter with some mixed muskets in the 5th Brigade are going to be defending over here on the left side. Although it looks like they're trying to slide over on us. Over here we've got the Carabinieri, I don't know how to pronounce that right, Carabinieri Reali, our Italian boys. Freedom Guards Infantry, the Wandering Regiment, 8th Michigan right there. We've got Custer's Cavalry out on the wing. Here in the center, we've got the Adirondack Mountaineers, Negley's 5th Brigade. Actually, we're going to pull them back because they've got mixed muskets, whereas the Calgary Highlanders have Enfields. And then we've got the Lincoln Loyalists in reserve. The Confederate Army is not cooperating right now. They're going for an objective all the way down here rather than attacking me where I am. That is not how this is supposed to go, guys. Oh, they got objectives back there too. So unfortunately, that's the reality right now, is that I'm probably going to have to engage him where he is. Maybe if I advance, I can draw him in and then maybe pull back. I guess we'll see. I'm going to mount Custer up. Oh, here he comes. All right, dismount. Okay, now that we drew him out, the question is, can we get back up the hill easily? Because I'd really rather fight up here if I can. I'm going to pull back into that position. We're actually going to put the Lincoln Loyalists on the line now. Pull the Mountaineers back as a reserve. Alright, let's see if we can actually draw him in to a fight. I don't know how easily I'm going to pull these guys back on the left because they've already engaged his skirmishers. But we're going to try. Alright, Custer, I'm going to really need you to hold on this flank. Come on, guys, pull back. Let's hope they'll take the bait. I wouldn't take the bait if I were him. I absolutely would not attack up this hill. He may not be in the having the luxury of choosing not to, though. All right, Porter, get back here, please. We got Schuyler Hamilton out here on the flank with his 700 Michigan Wolverines. Kind of interesting that Schuyler Hamilton commands the Michigan Wolverines and not Custer, who's on the other wing, who historically commanded the Michigan Wolverines. Schuyler Hamilton is not only the grandson of Alexander Hamilton, he's also the brother-in-law of Henry Halleck. And he was a good friend of General Sherman. Alright, he pulled his artillery up there. So we got to get these guys out. Okay. Let's do this, Custer. "10 shots a minute, so he's going to run out of ammo pretty fast, but hopefully not before he turns these guys back. Hasn't lost a man yet. But the rebels aren't in, I don't think, Cook's brigade. Now they're close enough to fire back. Ooh, and that first volley took out 39 of Custer's men. Get our division commander back. Alright, 39 again on the second volley. But he's taken out 300 of the enemy already. Looks like we got a few of the Wandering Regiment actually starting to fire on Layden's brigade. So right now that's where the action is, out on the right flank. I don't think these guns are in position to fire at the moment. Yeah, I think Custer's going to be able to hold, if for no other reason. He's going to inflict so many casualties on Cook's brigade before he runs out of ammo. So far so good, which is desperately needed with our morale situation where it is. Morale's all the way up to 50 though. I may need to think about sending one of these brigades just out of an abundance of caution. Let's send Israel Richardson's Adirondack Mountaineers over here. Just in case, because nothing's happening on the center right now. I don't want to see Custer get flanked. I think he's going to hold, but I am concerned about his ammunition. He's down by half already. So this will just be a preventative measure. Down to 29 rounds. 28. But we've inflicted 1,000 casualties. Cook loses too many more, he's going to fall back. That was a brand new brigade. They were pretty much full strength. Alright, we're going to bring the Mountaineers right up next to Custer. They may get... Oh, Cook's going to break. So I was hoping maybe they'd get a volley into Cook before that would happen. And that one volley might be enough to drive them off, but it looks like they're going to go just completely based on Custer's performance, which is fantastic. Let's mount Custer up. How about we ride into these guys? Ride them down, boys. We'll watch the casualty situation. But Cook's separated enough from his men and suffered enough casualties. There's a chance we force them into a surrender. If nothing else, we're driving the morale of his army down. Hit him again. All right, let's bring Richardson up. I saw some guns moving into position back here. After Custer drives these guys off, I may send him down this road. I don't want these guys to be in a position where they reform. Their casualties are almost at 50% now. Custer's not losing any men in these charges. And his fatigue is okay, so let's keep doing it. We'll move Richardson up over here. Nothing happening anywhere else on the Confederate line right now. There's those guns. Alright, let's speed things up. Back up so we can see more of what's going on. Hit him again. We're cut off now because we're out there so far. They're getting tired too. Have we been inflicting any more casualties? Yeah, we have. They're down to just 1,200 men. If we keep this up, they may surrender. I gotta wait until Custer's men are not quite so tired though. They're pretty exhausted at this point. Of course, if we're tired, so are they. Hit them again. Let's make them surrender. Cook's brigade's down to 700 men. Custer's just annihilating him. Okay, here he comes now on the left. Schuyler Hamilton's only got 700 men over there. He's starting to make his move. I'm going to put Negley over here. I'm a little more concerned about backing up Hamilton than I am backing up the center at the moment. Alright, Custer's men are very tired now. We've got to think of them and pull them out. I think another charge or two would have broken Cook. Alright, they're coming up the hill. Silly rebels. Man, this is like Lookout Mountain at this point. This is crazy. Come on, guys, get back behind cover. Alright, Stanley and the Thundering Herd are firing down on Winston's brigade right now, while the enemy attempts to get around my right flank, which is why we're bringing Negley over there to help out Hamilton's cavalry. Alright, so far so good. And once again, just massive one-sided casualties, which has been the norm since the rebel morale started collapsing as a nation. When it got under 50 in terms of national morale and the army morale started dropping, we started seeing some significant one-sidedness to the battles. It hadn't always been that way early in the war. Okay, Hamilton's boys have opened up. Porter's boys have opened up. And Negley's about to. There he goes. So we've got 3 brigades firing on this brigade coming up that hill. Same situation over here and over here too. Just not a very well coordinated attack by the Confederates. Ah! End of day. So at least we're going to get Custer resupplied. Hopefully rested. Looks like he is rested. I'm going to redeploy him down here on the hill. I'm actually going to pull Hamilton out and do the same thing with him. Put that cavalry together over here on the flank. Alright, we're just going to sit tight, see what happens. Okay, it's slow going, but he does appear to be moving into position for a major assault. Marson and Patrick's guns are getting their chance. He's bringing guns up the hill. That's pretty crazy. I don't know how he expects them to attack. Seems like this is kind of an all or nothing thing for him at this point. I'm on 10 times speed and you can still see how slowly they're moving up this hill. And just look at the range of my guns opening up on him. I mean, this is like suicide. It really is. I have Marson and Patrick's guns firing right into their flank. Just, it's horrible to look at what they're losing right now. And yet, because his morale was so much higher than mine, it's not going to be enough to win the battle. He's going to suffer massive casualties and still keep fighting. How are we doing here? Calgary Highlanders have lost 95 men. Lincoln Loyalists have lost 9. 21 for Stanley. Thundering Herd Brigade's low on ammo. They're over here. They've only lost 7 men. Let them keep coming. My goodness. What are they thinking? It's not even like he massed his assault. He sent a couple of brigades at a time. There goes Garrity's brigade. We're just not losing men at all. Very few. Henry Halleck's battery. Where's Halleck's battery? I don't even remember seeing another battery up here. Where's my order of battle? Oh, Halleck doesn't even have any men. He's way back here. Oh, that was a broken unit that was appearing on the battlefield, even though he had no men. It was broken before the battle even started. Confederate morale's almost down to my level now. Alright, let's move forward with Negley's men. He doesn't have much range. We're going to come down the hill with Porter. These are two brigades that have mixed muskets, so they have very little range. But still, we can gang up on these guys. Oh, they're going to charge at us. Bring it. Bye-bye. Wow. What a mess. This is the Kingston massacre. That's really what this is. Charge into him. And that's going to be it. Oh my gosh. That was brutal for the Confederates. And it started out with me wondering if I'd even be able to hold the field. And he started out pretty good. He was going around me. He was going for objectives. But all I did was just send a couple of divisions forward. And we baited him right into it. 925 casualties. Inflicted 8,000 on the Confederates. That's the kind of battle that can just pretty much do them in. Let's see what that does. I bet it takes another % off his national morale. It only dropped by 0.5% that time. Probably because it wasn't a larger battle. We're going to have to take some enemy cities to finish this thing off. Okay, 3rd Corps Army of the Potomac is going to take on the Army of the Etowah. That's once again going to be at Petersburg. That seems to be where he's trying to hit us. Is down on kind of our extreme southern flank with the Union Army of the Potomac. So let's dive into that one and see what happens. So this particular time on the battlefield, there are no objectives except for the one being held by the Confederates at New Cold Harbor, which means I have the onus on me to attack this time. So we're going to lead out with Edward Baker's cavalry to kind of screen the way, make sure that things are clear. We'll do the same with Turchin's cavalry. And once we've made sure that the road is clear, we'll get our infantry and artillery on the move. So far, everything clear. Here's my thought process. Depending on how we find him, I'm expecting he's dug in somewhere along New Cold Harbor. I'm thinking with my 2 infantry divisions that I have in this corps, we may attack from this side with one, come in from the east with the other, and get him in a pincer movement. It's going to depend on how he's arrayed, but I think that might work. And then we'll bring up our artillery right in here in the center somewhere. So we'll see. Right now we've got one division lining up right here, the other division right here, so they'll be pretty close. But we're going to keep Keim's division over here around Gaines Mill. And we'll probably move David Hunter's division out and around. But that's going to take a while. That's going to be a movement that's going to exhaust these guys. And so it's going to be a while before we actually attack. In fact, it may not even happen today in this rain. It's a pretty nasty day. A late November rain for trying to attack. Okay, we are in and around New Cold Harbor, and still no sign of the enemy. He's probably dug in back here somewhere then. That's all I can really figure. We're trying to send Edward Baker up here near the Gaines Mill Pond. See if we can get a glimpse there. My 2 divisions are about in place. We are going to run out of daylight, and that's fine. That'll give me a chance to kind of redeploy exactly how I want to. But still, no sign of him. Really just can't understand why he wouldn't be dug in and defending such a important position as Gaines Mill. There they are. All right, they're actually just now moving. That's really kind of fascinating. They're all back here in the swamp. There's some high ground right here. Let's see if we can dig in up there. We're going to have to get the guns across. And then we're going to have to get... Oh, Burnside's brigade actually has become elite. So Burnside becomes the first brigade commander in our armies to have an elite unit. I think we're probably not far behind with some of these others, because some of these units have been really heavily involved. The 3rd Corps has probably fought more than pretty much anyone. Alright, let's go ahead and throw this division in here. We're going to dig in right along this high ground right here with a little dip in the middle. Alright, he's leading with his artillery, as is often the case. We are not fully up to the high ground where we want to be. Let's get moving a little further. I'm going to bring this cav out here on my flank. Burnside's elite unit is going to come in right here. We need to get them something better than Springfield rifled muskets. I'm going to get the 20th Maine out here as well. I think we're going to start digging in on this creek here. Alright, hit that battery. Don't stand here and get caught out in the open. Give me deadly volley for Sharp's men. Let's get Morgan's cavalry dismounted. Take Walsh up there. We'll get Baldy Smith out here on the outside of the cavalry. Alright, we gotta get this artillery up here on the hill. Alright, we dealt with that artillery. Alright, I'm going to bring Burnside's elite 2nd Brigade up on the other side. I'm going to send this cav down here. Not the best weather for fighting. See how we're doing so far. We took out 20 guns. Casualties somewhat even, about 2 to 1 in our favor, but the numbers are pretty close on both sides. Let's push Burnside forward. I'm going to send Baker all the way out on the flank. Oh, there's some guns down. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize he still had another whole division back there. Alright, Turchin, you're about to have some fun. You got to hold off that whole division. Keep them in the swamp. Gotta try and get this division, this is Keim's division, sorted out. First of all, we're going to put them in single line. Turchin, you just hold right there, buddy. Keep these guys from reinforcing. Hit him. We're gonna have an artillery duel here. Alright, Canadian Grenadiers. I need you to run up over that hill and hit that battalion of artillery. Let's go, boys. Oh no, it's gonna be the first Armagh Irish. Grenadiers are... No, who did I give that order to? I did give it to the Canadians. They're going to run past the Irish. Alright, we don't want to keep taking casualties here. I'm going to send Sharp's brigade in there too. We're going to drive off that battalion. Oh, he's got men all the way along here. Alright, Turchin, let's see what you got. Actually, I want to send him right up to that crossing at the bridge, if we can, before the rebels get across. It's going to take a while to get that order there, though. Although Shank's on this side, so maybe not. There he goes. Excellent. Hold that crossing at all costs. 2,400 cavalrymen holding off a division. Boy, that's reminiscent of Buford at Gettysburg right there. Ah, end of the day. That's actually not the worst news. Oh, don't make him redeploy back there. Oh, come on. It did. Oh, that's the worst because I had him held at that bridge. No. Don't make me pull him back. Actually, let's get into a single line here. Oh, that's really disappointing. I had such a great position there. Let's pull the 3rd Corps artillery back here. I've got this big open gap in my line now. So we're going to have to pull the cavalry over here. Actually, I'm going to pull Kime up here. Put the cav over here. Ah, that's frustrating. That's really frustrating. I was right where I wanted to be. But look at those casualty numbers. Good stuff. Alright, AI. Attack. Attack. Let's see what you got. I always regret this. Actually, we'll just give the whole 3rd Corps orders to attack. Let's see what he does with it. I have no idea what you're doing, Shank, but let's see what you got. All right, 600 for me, 2,400 for him. There's a whole bunch of rebel brigades in here. How did Smith end up on that side? It's always a nightmare when I decide to trust the AI to control my brigades. Morale's almost the same on both sides. I don't know what in the world's happening with Smith. Okay, so it looks like they're starting to have some success. We did capture Lindsay's brigade and his 1,600 men. Jackson's broken. And now it's a major victory. Really, 1,200 men, 6,500, anymore. The Confederates aren't, I mean, their morale's down so much. This is like late 1864, early 1865 historically. They're just so broken that they're not putting up much of a fight anymore in any battle. So we'll see how much more it takes for me to finish this thing. Alright, there's another great victory as I try to knock stuff off my desk. So I think we're probably getting close to the end here. but we'll keep playing it out all the way until the war is won. Just give you a heads up about what's coming ahead. We will do another Confederate campaign, see if we can get all the way through a Confederate campaign on max difficulty once this is done. I will probably take a few weeks off from this game between the end of this campaign and when we start that Confederate campaign. I know they're working on some more major updates, but also I want to give a little bit of room to maybe explore some other games that I haven't been able to because I've focused so heavily on this one. I'm not giving up on this, and I'm thinking maybe 2 weeks off, 2 to 3 weeks off once this campaign's complete. Probably take 2 or 3 weeks off and then dive right back into it. In the meantime, I'll post for the patrons and get your unit requests for the next campaign. I know I'm thinking down the road because we haven't even won this one yet, but I think this one's getting close. We're at 35 now in the national morale for the Confederacy. It's really just a matter of waiting probably until spring so that we can overwhelm them, push in, take a couple of cities, maybe cut off the Confederacy at Vicksburg. And if we take New Orleans, take Nashville, I think that's probably enough to get it done. But we'll see. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.